Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we'll be recreating these two-piece one by VJ, and I love the shirt. So this tutorial will be in two parts. Today's tutorial is all about the pattern drafting of the shirt and the sewing. The next will be on the short. My own short has an elastic on the back waistband and a normal waistband on the front, a side invisible zipper with pockets, and a cut together turn-up hem. So if you'd like to see how I recreated mine, definitely keep watching. Do not forget to like, share, and let's get right into the tutorial. This line here is my shoulder line, and this space here is for my button extension. The width of my button extension is 1 inch plus 1.5 inches seam allowance if you're cutting your shirt together with your button extension, but the button extension for this shirt will be cut separately. From the center front line on the shoulder line, I will place my neck width of 3 inches and half of my shoulder measurement of 8.5 inches, the neck depth of 3 inches as well. I will square out these points and draw in my front neckline. With my tape on one half of my shoulder, I will go down 9 inches for my front armhole level and square it out. I'm a size M and this shirt is a box shirt, so the armhole levels for the other sizes will be on the screen. With my tape on one half of my shoulder, I will come down 1.75 inches for my shoulder slope. Then on the neckline, I will come in by half an inch towards the center front line, and I'll connect these 2 points for my shoulder line. I'll find the midpoint from my shoulder slope point to my armhole level and make a point. This point is my front chest level, and on this point I will come in by 0.75 inch. Then on the armhole level, I will place 1/4 of my bust measurement plus ease, for me is 11 inches, and I'll draw in my front armhole. With my tape on the shoulder line, I will go down 17 inches for my half length and 27 inches for my hip level and square out this point. I'm taking this measurement because my shirt is not completely boxed. I want to add a little shape to it. If yours is completely boxed, use your hip measurement as your bust measurement and take that measurement all the way down to the hem of your shirt. With my tape still on the shoulder line, I will go down 34 inches for the full length of my shirt and square it out. With my tape on the half length, I will place 1/4 of my bust measurement, for me is 11 inches, and on the hip line, I will place 1/4 of my hip measurement, for me is 12.5 inches. I'll place this same measurement at the hem of my shirt and draw in my side seam. So if your shirt is completely a box shirt, as I'm using 12.5 inches as my hip measurement, place that same measurement as your bust measurement and connect the point. At the side of the hem of the shirt, I will go up by 1 inch and blend it back into the hem of the shirt. You can either do this at the hem or you take it in at the bust start. This is just to help balance the side seams of your shirt to the center front. So here I'm indicating my 1 inch button extension and the 1.5 inches to turn it out. So if you're cutting your shirt together with your button extension, you're going to fold it in like this. Add your 1/2 inch seam allowance and cut out your pattern. I used 1/2 inch seam allowance on the hem, 1 inch on the side, 1/2 inch on the armhole, shoulder and neckline. So that's all for the front pattern for now, and we'll move to the back pattern. The back pattern of this shirt I'll be drafting in full. You know we have an opening on the center back. You can as well draft half of the back, but I want you guys to have a picture of what the back will look like. So I have traced half of the back using the front panel, and we are going to develop our back pattern from here. For those who are new to the channel, here our front and back armhole levels are never the same. There is always a 1.5 inches difference between the front and back to help get our garments balanced on our shoulders. So I have squared up the neck width of 3 inches, and here I'm replacing the front neck depth, which was 3 inches, to help us get the original shoulder line. I will square it out. With my tape on the line of the neck width, I will go up by 1.5 inches and make a point. Then with my tape on the center front line, I will replace half of my shoulder measurement of 8.5 inches and square it down. From the shoulder line of the front, I will go up by 1.5 inches. I will connect these 2 points, ½ inch past the neck width. This line becomes my back shoulder line and I'll draw in my back neckline. If you measure these 2 lines, you'll see that there is 1.5 inches difference. If you really want to enjoy your shirt and avoid pulling it forward to get it balanced on your shoulders, do not omit this step. So with the 1.5 inches raised for the back panel, our back armhole level becomes 10.5 inches. So I have placed my tape at 1.5 inches on the back neckline and I'll go down 10.5 inches for my back armhole level and I'll square out the important points. So I'm measuring the shoulder slope point of the front to the armhole level and I'll replace it here to get the back armhole level and I'll square it out. I'll find the midpoint from the back shoulder slope to the armhole level and make a point. This point becomes my back chest level and on this point I will come in by ½ inch and draw in my back armhole. I will cancel out the shoulder line of the front and with my tape on the back neckline, I will go down 5 inches for the back yoke and square it across. This is my center back line. From the center back line on the yoke line, I will come in by 0.6 inch. I will take this measurement all the way down to the hem of my shirt and connect with a straight line. So depending on how open you want your center back to be, you're going to mark half of that measurement here. On the yoke line on the armhole side, I will come down at 0.25 inch and blend it back into the yoke line. This is to soften that area and prevent it from looking so sharp. I will fold my pattern in half, add my seam allowance where necessary and cut out my pattern. For the spacing on the back of the shirt, the width of my strip measured 1 inch. So from the hem of my shirt, I first marked the width of my strip, which is 1 inch. Then the space between each strip measured 2 inches. I took that measurement all the way to the top of the shirt. So depending on how open you want yours to be, you're going to place those measurements here. So guys, this is what your back shirt pattern will look like with the center panel open like so. So the next will be to draft the shirt collar. I already have a detailed tutorial on how to draft a shirt collar on the channel. I'll put the link in the description so that our tutorial don't get too long. Then for the sleeves, I usually cut out my sleeves when I have attached the front and back panels, which I will show you guys in the sewing part of this tutorial. Here are all my pieces. I have the shirt collars interfaced on one side. I have my button extension. 2 pieces of this is interfaced and they are lining. The width of each piece measured 2 inches. I prefer to do my button extension separately because I like it top stitch on the right side of the shirt. These 2 pieces here is for the sleeves. I will cut out when I have attached the front and back panels of the shirt. I have the back yoke. I have 2 pieces here, one for the lining. I have the lower back of the back panel. I have a 1 inch seam allowance on the center back for the installation of the straps. Then the straps on the lower back will cut out from this piece, then my front panel. I've gone ahead and prepared the straps for the back panel. Each strap measured 1 inch after sewing. I'll keep this aside. I'll go ahead and attach the front piece of the back yoke to the front panel on the shoulders. I have done that and this is what I have. The next will be to attach the lower part of the back panel. On the lower part of the back panel, we'll be attaching the strap. So I have placed the piece on the table with their wrong sides facing down, exactly the way it will be when I'm putting the shirt on. So on the left side, I will attach the strap and top stitch it on the right side. On the right side where the strap will be top stitched, I will fold in the 1 inch seam allowance and run a straight stitch all the way down to the hem of the shirt. On the right side where the strap will be attached, I'll fold in the 1-inch seam allowance and insert the strap in between these seam allowance, just the way you see me doing in the video, and attach with a straight stitch. Remember, there is a 2-inch space in between each strap according to our pattern, so you're going to maintain the same space according to how much you gave on your own pattern. Once you're done securing your straps, you will sew on the seam line close to your straps all the way down to the hem of your shirt. The seam line close to your strap is exactly where I have my pins on. Once that is done, you flip out the straps like so, ready to be top stitched on the other side of the back panel. Then you run the second stitch on the seam line close to your straps to secure it. So guys, I've done that and this is what I have. You can go ahead and complete the back panel by top stitching the straps on the other side of the panel, but I prefer to go this way. So the next is to attach the panels to the yoke on the places where we notched. The width of my own space is 1.25 inches. I'll pin it in place together with the lining of the back yoke and attach with a straight stitch. Now you can choose to sew this separately, whichever way is more convenient for you. I have done all that I said. The next is to attach the lining of the yoke to the shoulders. So I'll sandwich the shirt in between the yokes with their right sides facing each other and their wrong side facing out. I'll pin it in place and attach with a straight stitch. Once that is done, I will turn out the shirt from one side of the arm and you have a neat finish on the right and on the wrong side of your shirt. You can go ahead and run a top stitch there to secure it. I'll measure the total armhole circumference and use that to cut out my sleeve. Mine measured 21 inches. So the length of my sleeve measured 11 inches and this includes half-inch seam allowance on the shoulder. At the hem here, I have folded in the 1.5 inches seam allowance. The width of my sleeve measured 8.5 inches plus extra 1.5 inches, and at the hem measured 8 inches plus extra 1.5 inches for seam allowance. I'll go ahead and pin my sleeve in place. So guys, I've secured my sleeves with pins. I will go ahead and attach with a straight stitch and overlock all raw edges. I have done all that I said. The next thing is to stitch close the sides and hem the hem of my shirt. So guys, this is what my shirt is looking like so far. I've gone ahead and prepared the drawstring ropes and the drawstring channel. So I'm going to pin in place the drawstring channel, centering it on the seam line of the side seams. Now the length of my drawstring is 2 inches above my half length, so this length also depends on you. And once everything is nice and okay, I will attach with a straight stitch to create the channel and I will insert my drawstring ropes. The drawstring channels and ropes has been installed successfully. Now the next is to attach my button extension and I'm starting first with the lining. So I'll pin in place the right side of the lining to the wrong side of the shirt and attach with a straight stitch. Once that is done, I'll pin in place the second piece of the button extension that is interfaced with the right side to the right side of the lining and attach with a straight stitch. I will trim off all the excess seam allowance and top stitch the button extension on the right side of the shirt. So guys, I have pinned my button extension in place with pins. I'll go ahead and attach with a straight stitch. I actually prefer to do my button extension this way because it gives the front panel of the shirt some kind of definition. I have done all that I said, and this is what my shirt is looking like. The last but not the least is to attach the shirt colors. So I'll go ahead and assemble the colors and I'll let you guys watch through. A detailed tutorial on how to draft and sew a shirt collar is already on my channel. The link to that tutorial will be in the description. I have assembled the collar and have given it a good press. I have secured the lining of the collar band to the right side of the neckline of the shirt with pins, and I will attach with a straight stitch. Then I will top stitch it close with the main collar band. Et voila, I have attached the shirt collar, and this is what my shirt is looking like. We are almost coming to the end of this tutorial. I also went ahead and top stitched some of the straps on the back, and I'll show you guys what I did. The width of the space on my center back is 1.25 inches. So I made the length of my strap a little long past this half-inch seam line on this side where the strap is top stitched. So the total length of my strap is 3 inches, 1.25 inches on the center back, 1 inch on the side of the shirt where the strap is attached, and 0.75 inch on this side where the strap would be top stitched. So I made my straps, is it strap or strip? Well, I made them extra long because I didn't know what the final measurements would be and to avoid going back and forth. So all I'm doing here is to tuck in the excess and secure it on the other side of the shirt. So if you want to prepare your straps without following this route, all you need to do is to add an extra 1.75 inches to whatever measurement you're using as your center back space. For example, mine is 1.25 inch. Let's say yours is 2 inches. You're going to add an extra 1.75 inches to this measurement, making it 3.75 inches, 1 inch to attach your strap on one side of your shirt panel, and 0.75 inches to secure it on the other side. Or you can do it whichever way you find more convenient. So guys, I have attached my final straps, and this is what mine is looking like. I'll go ahead and sew in the buttons. I have attached the buttons, and this is what the back panel of my shirt is looking like. So the last thing is to do my buttonholes, attach my buttons, and I'll show us the final look. Do not forget to like this video if you enjoyed it. Leave all your questions in the comment section. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in my next one. A bientôt!